So hey there, this is the One Boom, and I have already lost some subscribers from making fun of Thunder's confusing tweets. I think I originally had them titled in my podcast last night as dumb tweets, but I thought that was harsh, so I switched it to confusing because that's really the emotion that they instill in me, and confusion. In this video, I want to talk about the maps in Modern Warfare, remade maps, map counts, and just try to get all of my thoughts out here at once and as a concise a way as possible. This video doesn't have a script or even a couple bullet points written down, so let's get right into this. The Gaming Revolution tweeted out that Modern Warfare is going to have 20 maps across all modes at launch, 7 gunfight, 3 ground war, and 10 traditional 6v6 maps. Some people think the 10 traditional maps will be split up between 10v10 and 6v6, but I don't fully think this is the case because in Modern Warfare, they did release the 10v10 domination map as a 6v6 map for one of the days in the beta. If I'm wrong about that, if they changed that afterwards, if they said that was dumb and we're never doing that again, let me know. I didn't find any information on that, but maybe I just didn't look hard enough, so please feel free to correct me in the comment section. I will pin your comment. But let's go through this. 7 gunfight maps, to me, seems a little excessive for a 2v2, no respawn game mode. And I'm kind of bothered by this because this is going to be my least played mode and it has 7 maps. Now obviously these maps are smaller, easier to make, and that's probably why they made 7 of them. My problem is they might add more down the line. It's not a huge issue. Some people really like the game mode and I get that, but to me personally, it's my least favorite thing and I hope they're not dedicating too many resources to the gunfight mode when I kind of would prefer them to put that into traditional multiplayer or ground war. But okay, 7 gunfight maps, that's fine. Then we're gonna have 3 ground war maps, and some people are kind of disappointed about that, but I'm not buying the game for ground war. I just enjoyed ground war, and I'm still not bored from the ground war map we had in the beta. As far as Call of Duty goes, Modern Warfare's ground war adds the most variety per match out of any Call of Duty I've seen. Long-range sniping, close-range engagements, long flanks, some vehicle play, and if the maps have as much variety and scale as the map we saw in the beta, then I'm okay with only having 3 of them at launch. Of course, all maps will be free for everybody with no exclusivity in post-launch. I can't comment on the quality of the post-launch in Modern Warfare. The only video I've even really made about it was talking about how because Call of Duty Mobile is making money, Black Ops 4 is still going to make money, that they might not set such high monetary goals for Modern Warfare, which could be why we didn't get a season pass, it could be why we don't get charged up the ass for post-launch weapons and things. But for those wanting a conversation about the post-launch in Modern Warfare, I'm sorry, the game isn't out yet, we can't comment on it. Anything you've heard so far is fear-mongering, speculation, and is probably a waste of your time. And I feel like I've wasted my time talking about it at all on this channel, so let's move on. Modern Warfare will have 10 6v6 maps, and that's not a super high number, but let's factor in some things here. I'm not trying to damage control. I'm honestly a little disappointed that we're only getting 10 traditional maps at launch, but there will be the night vision mode. And the night vision mode changes the way the maps play drastically. Same goes for the realism mode, and same will go for the realism and night vision mode, because those can actually be combined as well. And I think it's important to look at it as if there's 2 different versions of each map, the day mode and the night mode. Also, when I played the realism mode, it drastically changed the way maps play. Like, people play slower. Now you might think, well, I don't want this game to play any slower, but for those of you that do, and you might be a silent minority, a silent majority, you might be a loud minority. Honestly, I can't figure out where people are standing on this, but if you want the game to play a little bit more tactically and you want to play the maps differently, realism and the night mode will play a lot differently, and I think that is an important thing to factor in. I haven't heard anybody else talk about this. They're saying, well, there's going to be, only 10 maps, but yeah, 10 maps with day form and night form. And also these maps are going to be bigger than the traditional 3-lane maps we're getting used to with Black Ops 3, IW, Black Ops 4, stuff like that. And honestly, I would take 10 maps with variety between them versus 16 maps that all feel like they play the same. Now I want to talk about Thunder's tweets because he tweeted again today. Now he already tweeted these things about how Modern Warfare's only hope is to have remade maps in them. And when it comes down to it, that's just the most confusing shit I've ever heard. At the least, this is just an over-exaggeration. At the most, this is just plain wrong. So I talked about these tweets, and then today he tweeted out that basically, you don't want old maps, but, Modern Warfare Mobile is full of old maps and it got this many downloads, and so, take that. I don't want anyone to think I'm on the spectrum. If this is a joke and I'm not getting it, let me know. But I can't believe this. I mean, come on. Correlation and causation are very, very different things. Do you really think a free mobile game toting the name Call of Duty needed old maps to get that many downloads? I downloaded it on my phone. I am one of those downloads. It's not on my phone anymore. I play it on PC, on GameLoop. I recommend you guys go to gameloop.com if you want to play it on your PC. Again, that is GAMELOOP.com. You have to factor in, Thunder, how many people downloaded it that don't even know about those old maps, because it's a free-to-play mobile game. Do you know how many kids have phones now, Thunder? I don't know if you're out of touch, or you're willfully ignorant, or again, I'm falling for a massive prank here, but look, nobody's downloading COD Mobile because they have to play Crash again. I would say most people downloading it don't even give a shit that it's Crash. It's a mobile game. It's advertised to everybody on their phones. Do you realize the normie audience and amount of kids that brings in? This tweet is literally saying, hey, you don't want a ton of remade maps in your $60 video game? Well, here's a free-to-play mobile game that has a bunch of remade maps, and everybody's downloading it. If you don't see that as the dumbest argument in the world, I don't know what else to tell you, Thunder. Thing is, man, you're a no bullshit YouTuber, and I like to think of myself as kind of a bullshit YouTuber, but hopefully you can respect the fact that right now I'm not giving you any. In all seriousness, your argument boils down to old COD bad, new COD good, as if maps like Afghan, Favilla, Village, Seatown played perfectly. They didn't have any campers, they didn't have any annoying lines of sight, they didn't have any spawn traps, they didn't have any terrible spawn locations, still to this day. That being said, I like the idea of remade maps. I don't get the idea that the game needs it, and that the reason it needs it, and the proof of that, is that COD Mobile has a lot of downloads. Yeah. But personally, my ideal would be that there's gonna be 3, one from each Modern Warfare game before this. Honestly, I'd throw in one from Call of Duty Ghosts as well. I'd remake Crossfire, Estate, Arcaden, and Warhawk. The Gaming Revolution says maps like Rust, Shipment, Terminal. I've also heard that Subbase is going to be in the game, and I don't want to talk about that because it's speculation and the information's changed a little bit, you know, here and there. But Gaming Revolution's been pretty much on the ball, and if he says Rust, Terminal, Shipment are coming into the game, then they probably are. I imagine Shipment might be released as a gunfight map, but I mean, it could also work in 6v6. Some people like that shit. Those people also eat crayons, but whatever. But personally, I wouldn't mind remade maps either shortly after the launch or, you know, right at launch. You know, I wouldn't mind that, personally. But when it comes to post-launch maps, my only hope is that every month and a half we get a new piece of content. Now, sometimes that might just be a gunfight map, but really, this is the most outlandish thing I think I've said on this channel in a while, but I would like one remade map per month by default. That's just my crazy ideal. I'd like that, and then on top of that, some new and unique post-launch maps that we've never seen before, on top of that ground war and gunfight maps being released and new Spec Ops missions being added. But seeing how they're not charging for a season pass, I feel like the ways they'd have to monetize the game in order to release that much content, well, honestly, just the thought of it gives me chills. But please, I would like it if you guys let me know what you think about this. And all hyperbole aside, I have a lot of respect for Thunder. He's built up his channel for a long time. He's been in the game longer and more successfully than I have. I just think the Call of Duty series needs to kind of ditch the whole old good, new bad thing, and maybe actually sit down and learn the new maps and figure them out, just like we had to do back with Modern Warfare 2, just like we had to do with Call of Duty Ghosts back in the day. Like, sit down and learn the game. I have an entire video about that coming out next, so yeah, my next video will be me coming at you guys with my tail between my legs and my ears down. Won't that be swell? Anyway, I'll see you when I see you guys. Goodbye.
The night maps will be mixed in with the regular maps, like during regular like rotation.
Possibly, maybe. Yeah.
So things like if you have a site, then you really don't need it on the night maps. You can take it off and allocate it elsewhere.